A Frog's Tale, The Whole Story, by Eric E. Joyce, illustrated by Christina Quinlivan. These frogs are different than he or his love, for no legs did they have he could see. Just a head and a tail, and they looked like a fish. Could they grow up and jump? Could it be? A tadpole each one started off, but no memory he had this event. He feared other frogs at them would scoff. All he could feel, merriment. They watched as a metamorphosis took place, and their babies started to grow. There were three, looked like they were running a race. None of them were moving too slow. First their hind legs started to sprout, then their front legs, first left and then right. Now their mouths started forming, looking just like a snout. Then soon, up for air, they must fight. Now first thing next morning, Ma and Pa by the shore, as the three little babies gathered round, waiting their first lesson of many, many more, they listened, but heard not a sound. They knew that they must get to their tree, safe and sound up in their home. So hop on Papa's back all three. In a flash, they were here and then gone. They started each day, hugs and kisses all round, journeyed out for adventures to learn. Sometimes disciplined with a loud croaking sound. For their safety he had to be stern. He was sure they would not lead the life that he had, being scared for most all of his life. One thing scared did do is kept him from bad, and had saved him for his beautiful wife. And now the frogs, three baby frogs, went down the tree to play, in and around and over some logs, and as time was slipping away, their mother looked up from her daily affairs to see where her babies had gone. When she couldn't see them on the ground, she got scared, and she knew they were too far from home. She hopped down the tree with Papa in tow, reached the ground in a couple of strides. They started to croak so their babies would know, but they thought it would be funny to hide. They whisperingly croaked so they wouldn't be found, not knowing the worry they caused, inside and out and down and around in this tree. But then they suddenly paused. Then they poked out their heads from the end of the log to see what all the fuss was about. But all they could see was a blanket of fog in their face, an unusual snout. They felt the warm breath, but no way they could tell, no experience they'd had in this world. Just one moment more, what a terrible smell. Then from a distance, loud croaks would unfurl. Mama raced up to the log with a knot, as she croaked for her babies to duck. Then Papa Frog came from nowhere with a swat, as a spray spurted out from the skunk. Then the skunk scurried off at the noise of the frogs, and the damage now being assessed, Mom and Pop frantically searched through the logs. At the rescue, all who saw were impressed. There was a squirrel and turtle and bird, and a snake wondering what was amiss. Before this no sound in the woods was heard, and the snake gently let out a hiss. Mama and Papa now gathered up three, stern looks on their faces understood. Just wait till we get you back up in the tree. You may even stay up there for good. So the frogs headed back to the tree whence they came to discuss all the things that transpired. After this, the first lesson, nothing ever the same, 'cause their hide-and-go-seek game backfired. They learned that danger is sometimes around, even though we don't see right away. Sometimes it can sneak up, not ever a sound. So too far from home never stray. Then Mama and Papa hugged their babies as one. Over every inch of them they would look. Just then they could see the last glimmer of sun, and admitted all their nerves had been shook. They loved each other so very much, and they watched as the sun set its head. They knew they were protected in a clutch. There was no reason for any tears to be shed. Two of the five in the tree by the creek now wanted to move closer to town. So Mama and Papa left the three in the tree. Between them they could do nothing but frown. The three little frogs that were left in the tree in deep thought about where they would live, each of them only worried about me, not willing any concession to give. The one that was green wanted to stay in the woods. Under a leaf he'd be safe and secure. He'd put on the leaf would be just like a hood, hopefully not get covered in manure. Now the one colored red had a different idea of the place that she wished to reside, and the red of the pad in the creek need not fear. She'd blend in there with no need to hide. The little blue frog looked round by the creek and saw a hole where he knew he could hide. Unknown to the three, the hole under the tree was the original place love first spied. Well, the three little frogs decided they'd stay in the woods where they swam and they played. What Ma and Pa said wouldn't cause them to sway. They were firm in their decision today. As Papa and Ma made their way to the creek, disappointed at what they'd not found, the three little frogs, just seconds from freaked, realized then they weren't moving to town. So they all gathered round in the forest to play and thought only of how much they loved. This turned out to be a great day as a breeze gently gave them a shove. In the forest, in the tree, by the creek where they chose to reside with full days of laughter. So the end of this saga goes, and they were so happily ever after.